Imagine walking into a room and before you say a single word, people already decide whether they like you, trust you, or want to compete with you. It happens in under 3 seconds. You've seen it. Someone walks in and instantly commands respect. Another person says the exact same thing but somehow irritates everyone. The difference isn't charisma, it's neuro-response, a system of subconscious feedback loops that determine how others feel in your presence before you even speak. Today, you'll learn how to activate what I call the emotional synchronization protocol, a neuroscience-based framework that lets you trigger trust, respect, and attention without manipulation, simply by mastering your brain's signaling language. The truth is, your nervous system is constantly broadcasting signals, like a Wi-Fi network of emotion. Every micro-movement, tone, and rhythm in your body sends cues that other people's brains mirror automatically. This is called mirror neuron activation, your brain's built-in empathy circuit. When you frown, others feel tension. When your tone carries calm certainty, their heart rate adjusts down. Your state becomes contagious. And that means one thing. The fastest way to change how people feel about you is to change what their brains are mirroring. The first step of the emotional synchronization protocol is calibration. This is where you bring your nervous system into coherence before any interaction. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument before a performance. If your rhythm is off, every note you play will sound dissonant. Here's how to calibrate. Before walking into a room or starting a conversation, take 10 seconds to reset your physiological baseline. Drop your shoulders, exhale slowly, and align your posture, upright, balanced, but relaxed. Then bring awareness to the area just below your chest. That's your center of gravity, what martial artists call hara. The moment you stabilize it, your breathing slows, your voice lowers naturally, and your body starts signaling grounded confidence. People's brains will mirror that stability in real time. They won't know why, but they'll feel safer around you. Step 2 is synchronization. This is where you actively engage someone's mirror neurons to create emotional alignment. Most people try to do this through words, which fail because the brain prioritizes rhythm and micro-expression over language. The real synchronization happens through micro-mirroring, subtle alignment of gestures, tone, and tempo. When you're speaking to someone, match the rhythm of their breathing or their vocal cadence for about 15 seconds, then lead it. If they speak fast, start fast, then gradually slow your speech and tone. Their nervous system will unconsciously follow your pace. It's called leading through entrainment, and it's one of the oldest influence mechanisms used by elite negotiators, therapists, and intelligence officers. Step 3 is what I call emotional encoding. Once synchronization is established, your brain and theirs are operating in resonance, like two metronomes falling into rhythm. At that point, any emotional state you enter will be transferred. This is where most people fail, because they try to project confidence while internally feeling stress. You can't fake coherence. Your body will betray it through microsignals. The code here is simple. You can only transfer emotions you truly embody. So before any high-stakes moment, install the emotion you want others to feel. If you want calm respect, breathe slowly and visualize steadiness in your chest. If you want energy and motivation, stand tall, engage your core, and amplify your inner tone. The body changes the signal before the mind does. This is why elite performers and leaders practice state conditioning. They train emotions like muscles. They don't wait to feel confident, they trigger it on demand. And because emotional states are contagious, whoever controls their own state first controls the collective mood. Let's go deeper into the neuroscience. When your emotional state stabilizes, your vagus nerve, the communication line between your brain and body, activates what's known as the social engagement system. It's the mechanism that regulates facial expressions, vocal tone, and even the muscles around your eyes. When it's active, your face looks open, your eyes soften, and your tone gains warmth and authority at the same time. This signal triggers a primal safety response in others. Their amygdala interprets your presence as non-threatening but competent. That's the sweet spot. Confident calm. The opposite happens when your vagus nerve is shut down. Your face stiffens, tone flattens, and others feel unease without knowing why. That's why anxious people unintentionally repel trust even when they say all the right words. The emotional synchronization protocol rewires this. You can activate the vagal system in under 20 seconds through what I call the resonant exhale. Inhale for 4 seconds, then exhale for 8, making the exhale longer than the inhale. This simple shift tells your nervous system that you're safe. Safety equals authority. Because in nature, only organisms in control of their environment stay calm under stress. Now, let's apply this in real interactions. Imagine a difficult conversation, maybe a negotiation or a conflict with a colleague. Most people tense up, breathe shallowly, and lean forward. That triggers defensive mirroring. The other person's brain perceives threat. Instead, perform a micro reset. Exhale longer than you inhale, relax your gaze, and soften your facial muscles around the eyes. Within seconds, the other person's body picks up your rhythm. Their shoulders drop, tone lowers, and logic comes back online. You've just overridden the amygdala loop and created a state of synchronized calm. That's how emotional leadership works, not through dominance, but through regulation. The next layer of this code is perception management. This is not manipulation. It's awareness of how your signals are interpreted. For example, people subconsciously evaluate 3 things within seconds: warmth, dominance, and predictability. Warmth tells their brain you're safe. Dominance tells them you're capable. Predictability tells them you're stable. The combination of these 3 creates instant trust. You can control all 3 through micro-behavior. Warmth is conveyed by open body angles, gentle facial expression, and tone with descending pitch. Dominance is conveyed by stillness. Minimal, precise movements signal power because they show control. Predictability comes from rhythm, speaking and moving in consistent tempo without erratic shifts. The trick is to balance them dynamically. Too much warmth without structure reads as submissive. Too much dominance without warmth feels aggressive. But coherence, calm authority, is magnetic. That's the state high performers cultivate consciously. There's a reason elite negotiators, surgeons, and special operators train emotional neutrality before missions. It's not just to stay calm, it's to regulate the entire environment. When your nervous system becomes the most stable one in the room, all others synchronize to it. You don't need to speak louder, you need to be clearer. Because the brain is wired to follow stability. Now here's where the real leverage begins. The human brain constantly scans for leadership signals, not through logic, but through emotion. Whoever displays the calmest control under uncertainty becomes the emotional anchor for the group. That's why in crises, people instinctively look to the one who isn't panicking. The emotional synchronization protocol trains you to become that anchor by design. The process is simple. Regulate first, mirror second, lead third. In practice, that means whenever you enter a room, take 2 seconds to check your body, tension, breathing, posture. Then subtly align your tone and rhythm to the dominant energy in the room. Once synchronization is achieved, start slowing your pace, deepening your tone, and expanding your pauses. The group will unconsciously follow your rhythm within 60 seconds. This isn't theory. It's pure neurobiology. You're simply leveraging the mirror neuron system the way it evolved, for emotional safety and coordination. Now let's connect everything into a complete operating system, the emotional synchronization protocol in its final form. You can think of it as 3 layers: internal coherence, external alignment, and dynamic leadership. Each layer builds upon the previous one, creating what neuroscientists call a stable resonance loop, your nervous system and the nervous systems of others aligning in real time. Let's start with internal coherence. This is the base layer. Before you can influence anyone else, you have to eliminate emotional noise inside your own system. Noise is the physiological residue of stress, shallow breathing, muscle tension, mental clutter. When you carry that into an interaction, people feel it instantly, even if you smile. Their mirror neurons detect microtremors in your tone and posture. So here's the first actionable code. Before any important interaction, perform the 60-second regulation loop. Stand still, exhale fully, then inhale slowly through your nose while expanding your lower abdomen. On the exhale, imagine tension draining down your body into the floor. Repeat this for 3 breaths. Then, shift your attention from your thoughts to the physical sensations of your chest and face. The moment you do that, your prefrontal cortex regains control over the limbic system, and your body emits signals of calm stability. That's your new baseline. Step 2 is external alignment. This is where influence begins. Once your system is coherent, you begin syncing with others. Most people try to impress or dominate early in conversation. That's a mistake. Influence doesn't start with assertion. It starts with alignment. The easiest way to align is through what's called rhythmic matching. Every person has a unique tempo in their speech, gestures, and breathing. For the first 30 seconds of any interaction, mirror that rhythm subtly. Match their speaking pace, nod in sync with their gestures, and slightly mirror their posture. This activates the insula region of their brain, the area responsible for empathy and emotional understanding. Within seconds, they feel that you get them, even if you haven't spoken much. Once the alignment is locked, you gain permission to lead. That's where the third layer comes in. Dynamic leadership. This is the ability to guide the emotional state of the environment. Once you're in sync, you gradually change your tempo, slow your speech, lower your tone, and introduce longer pauses. Their nervous system will follow. That's how therapists calm anxious patients, how elite negotiators de-escalate conflict, and how leaders project authority without raising their voice. You're not forcing compliance, you're offering coherence. The brain follows stability because stability equals safety. Now let's make this tactical. Imagine you're in a high-pressure meeting and the energy in the room is chaotic. Everyone's speaking fast, cutting each other off. Step 1. Regulate your own body with a deep exhale. Step 2. Match the room's rhythm for a brief moment. Fast pace, quick gestures. Step 3. Slow your rhythm slightly. Within 60 seconds, others subconsciously start matching you. The volume lowers, breathing evens out, and logic returns. You've just shifted the group's collective state through neural entrainment. This is the essence of emotional leadership. To master this, you must train your body to become a transmitter of coherence. And that starts with daily calibration drills. Spend 2 minutes each morning standing still with your eyes closed, focusing on your heartbeat. Synchronize your breath with your pulse. Inhale for 4 beats, exhale for 6. After 30 seconds, you'll feel your body drop into parasympathetic dominance. That's the rest and connect mode. Then open your eyes, hold that rhythm, and imagine projecting that state outward like a field. That's your default signal. When practiced consistently, it becomes automatic. People will feel your calm before you say a word. Let's take this deeper. Neuroscientifically, what you're doing is training your vagal tone, the flexibility of your nervous system to shift between calm and alertness. High vagal tone means emotional resilience, low tone means reactivity. Elite communicators from special forces operators to top CEOs have trained this skill unconsciously. It's why they seem composed in chaos. Their bodies are trained to stay regulated no matter the input. You can build this through micro-practice. Once every hour, take 1 deep exhale and drop your shoulders. That single gesture is enough to rewire your nervous system over time. Next comes the emotional encoding layer, the ability to transmit specific feelings intentionally. Once coherence is mastered, you can inject meaning into your signals. If you want to convey confidence, increase stillness. If you want warmth, soften your micro-expressions around the eyes and let your breathing flow naturally. If you want urgency, add intensity to your gaze while maintaining calm tone. The combination of these small cues creates entire emotional atmospheres without words. Remember, humans evolved to read bodies, not sentences. 93% of communication impact happens below conscious awareness. The emotional synchronization protocol is not about pretending. It's about congruence, making your internal state match your external signal so others can trust the data their brain is receiving from you. That's what real authenticity is, neurological alignment. There's a powerful side effect here. When you master this protocol, you start to feel emotionally bulletproof. Because instead of being a passive receiver of other people's emotions, you become the signal generator. Someone walks in anxious, you don't absorb it. You regulate, sync, and lead them out of it. That's not manipulation. That's emotional architecture, designing the atmosphere around you with precision. The same mechanism applies in persuasion. You can't sell ideas by pushing harder. You sell them by creating an emotional environment where the other person's brain perceives safety and coherence. The moment their nervous system trusts you, their logical brain opens to your message. That's why data rarely convinces anyone. It's not the information, it's the emotional context in which it's received. Once you understand that, influence stops being random, it becomes a controlled system. Now let's add one final upgrade, dynamic state switching. Elite communicators can change their emotional frequency in seconds. They can move from calm presence to energized intensity and back without losing control. To train this, pick 2 opposite emotional states, calm and energized, for example. Spend 30 seconds embodying one fully through breathing, posture, and facial expression, then switch to the other instantly. This trains neural flexibility, teaching your system to adapt without emotional lag. Within weeks, you'll notice people start mirroring your shifts effortlessly. You'll be able to raise energy in a team, calm a conflict, or refocus attention with precision. The emotional synchronization protocol isn't about control. It's about alignment, making your brain and body the command center for emotional direction. You don't chase reactions, you generate the state that drives them. The irony is, the moment you stop trying to impress people and start managing your physiology, they begin to perceive you as magnetic, because the brain is wired to follow whoever feels most regulated. This is why composure is more powerful than charisma, and calm is louder than confidence. By mastering these principles, you're not just improving your communication, you're upgrading the emotional operating system that runs every interaction you have. And that's your real advantage in leadership, negotiation, and influence. The next time you enter a room, remember, people aren't responding to your words, they're responding to the state you transmit. Your goal is not to speak perfectly, it's to broadcast coherence so clearly that others can't help but synchronize to it. That's how you lead without manipulation, by becoming the most stable signal in an unstable environment. If you're ready to master emotional influence and turn your nervous system into an instrument of precision, then subscribe to Success Code. Because here, you're not just learning theories, you're building an arsenal of mental codes that give you a measurable edge in the real world.